So in this video, we'll be talking about the moon in Aries and what that means for those of you guys that have it natally. So the moon in a chart shows us the emotions. It shows us what matters to the individual, and most importantly, what gives them security and what makes them feel comfortable in their own skin or comfortable in general. Because in astrology, the moon rules the fourth house and it rules the sign of Cancer, which is about the home, the family, the home life, and what else? It also rules like our resources, especially resources that we keep long term, things such as investments. But generally speaking, it shows us our comforts as well, and our emotions, and also our mother and our relationship to the nurturing parent, especially the mother in this case, like I said. If she was a nurturing figure, even if she wasn't, the moon will probably show traits of your mother or like a relationship to your mother. But sometimes the moon can show how we are nurtured. So even by other people in our lives, even our significant others, or just anybody that plays that kind of role, the moon will show us how we like to be nurtured. So sometimes they may not play out the right way that we like to be nurtured, and we can see that by looking at the moon. And that's where we can look at synastry and see contradictions and whatnot. But with that being said, I'm getting kind of off track. But those are the general meanings of the moon: emotions and security, comfort, home. So when the moon is in Aries, what this indicates is that you are an individual that uses yourself as a resource. So you're very independent because, like I said, the moon is our resources, and it's what we like to use as a resource. And that's why it kind of ties to the home as well, and what the stuff that we have at home and all those kind of things. Those are more physical expressions. But when the moon is in Aries, which is the sign of the individual and is the sign of independence or action, it's the sign of subjectivity. This indicates that you're somebody that when you were raised or throughout your childhood, you were more of a self-soother. So you had to handle your emotions alone. You're more emotionally subjective, and that's the way you like things, and that's how you're comfortable, or at least that's how you got used to doing things. And what gives you comfort is the ability to act independently. And with that being said, since the moon is in Aries, this also is about using yourself as a resource. Now, when the moon is in Aries, it's in the 10th sign from its own sign of Cancer, right? And so 10th is about responsibility, effort, time, restrictions, and it's about the emotions of other people. So the reason why is because the 10th house opposes the 4th house. So this indicates that the moon is not completely at ease when it's in Aries, because it indicates that you're somebody whose actions affect your emotions, and so you're very conscious of your actions, and so it can restrict your ability to act as freely, because you feel everything that you do and you feel the consequences of it, because the 10th house is about consequences and whatnot. And in addition, you feel how your actions will affect others. So this makes you possibly an empathetic individual in that way, given that, Aries is also about our identity. It's associated with the first house. And so you tie your emotions to your identity, or your identity to your emotions. So things that make you insecure or things that will destabilize you emotionally is anything that has to do with your identity in a negative way. So like if somebody tries to tarnish your name or if people give you a bad reputation. All those kinds of things will stress somebody that has the moon in Aries. So it also is about being direct, because Aries is the sign of directness, impulsiveness. It can even be about anger. So when you have the moon in Aries, you have this desire to be direct or honest about your emotions. If they become a center point. So like when it comes to expressing your emotions, you're very direct, and you like to express them through the way that you act and through your actions. You like to solve emotional problems very objectively and very directly. You're not somebody that likes to think or try to do things roundabout in a roundabout way. When it comes to emotional situations, you just let people know how you feel, or you just act on how you feel. Now, the other thing is, the moon in Aries indicates that you have this emotional need to be active. Because if you're not active and you have the moon in Aries, then this will lead to you feeling more restricted and less in control, and it will take away from your sense of security. You may start to feel less secure, or you may start to feel uncomfortable, or just just negative feelings, because the moon is about feelings and Aries is about acting. So these people need to have this active lifestyle, or they need to be able to do as many things as they want or that they need to. That's why they like to be in charge of their family when they do have a family, and they need to be in a position where they can make decisions. That's again with the moon being in the 10th sign from Cancer. The 10th house is about being an authority, or being a manager, or being responsible. So these people like to be responsible for things that regard themselves. So they don't like to have somebody else above them or telling them what to do. Or they don't like also to have restrictions on what they can do from their own vantage point. And the last thing, like I said, is they need to be active. And if you are not active, what you will end up experiencing is that you will get this emotional buildup. See, Aries is a fire sign. It's a masculine sign. It's about doing things. The moon is what gives us security. So if you are not fulfilling that ability to act or to do things, and if you are not using the motivation that is indicated by the moon in Aries, you start to feel irritable, or you start to experience negative emotions, especially emotions like anger or frustration. Generally speaking, you're a very ambitious or motivated individual, and you like to be on top of everything, including your career and also your reputation. You are on top of things, meaning you are aware and you are active about maintaining those things, and you are motivated as well towards success. And if you do not pursue that, or if you're not active, or if situations prevent you from being active, you start to feel irritable or negative emotions such as anger in this case, because Aries is about anger. And you may have like emotional outbursts of just anger, or you may get frustrated at people. In that sense, you are irritable, So that basically wraps up this placement. And yeah. The last thing as well is, since Aries is about our perception and it's about subjectivity as well, because it's about the individual, it's about the self, the identity, and how we see things. When the moon in Aries is in Aries, it indicates that you're somebody that is quite emotionally subjective. So your emotions about things, or how you feel about a situation or a conflict, or anything that affects your emotions or affects things that matter to you, such as your stability, your money, your resources. How you feel about those things is completely subjective, or based on your point of view of things. So, for example, in a court of law, or like things revolving the law, or like revolving other people, where other people disagree with you, those situations are quite difficult for you because you don't handle that well, because your emotions are completely based on how you see things when the moon is in Aries, which is why it can make it a challenging position for the moon, because the moon is in a sign that is square to its own sign. And a lot of times, for you to cater to how other people see things, it feels like a emotional responsibility. It feels like a job, or it feels uncomfortable. And yeah, so that basically sums up this placement. Now, with that being said, in the upcoming videos, we'll cover what the moon in Aries means through each of the houses. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, and you learned something, or you saw yourself in some way, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.